Hi guys, welcome to another beer review. This one is something a little bit special, and it is a beer that I've tried before. A week prior to me recording this video, Beretta were holding another tasting event, this time for the Spital brewery, which is a brewery from the city. And they were holding an event for a beer that, as soon as I heard that they were brewing this beer, which I found out at the previous event, at the Rana Taste event, I was pretty damn excited. So I went over there. It was a great event as usual, as you'll be seeing some photos throughout this video. Once again, got talking to the guys at Beretta about some of the breweries back in the UK that are really, standing out, like Magic Rock and Cloudwater. And we were talking about Stone now brewing in Germany, so that means it'll be so much more easier for me to get hold of Stone Brewing Company beers, and really exciting times talking about like craft beer and all that. And yeah, it was a great event, and at the event was the head brewer at Spital, Anton, and I got talking to him. He actually recognised me from some of my other beer reviews, which, you put yourself out there when you do stuff like this, but it's still, I don't know, it's still quite weird when people, recognise you and you're not the one who says, oh, by the way, I make videos on YouTube. It's when they say, oh, I saw your review of blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, fantastic. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And yeah, got talking to him about his brewing history. I mean, he worked at Weltenberger Kloster, and he's a head brewer at Spital. And we got talking about some of his own little projects, some really exciting beers that he's brewing. And yeah, we were just talking about how these bigger breweries are creating their own little Manufaktor lines, and yeah, we were just discussing beer, having a good time. And he actually invited me to go back to the Spital brewery for a tour, which I will be doing the day after recording this video. So you'll probably see that tour video before you see in this beer review. It was just a great event as usual, and of course I picked myself up a bottle of the beer in question, and that is the Spital Manufaktor Indian Pale Ale, which is clocking in at 8%. And yeah, I really like the look of these Manufaktor beers. And yeah, I have done, I think, 3 other reviews from this line, so they will be in the description box down below. Really nice and elegant, nice and shiny, it's metallic, it's very pretty looking beer. And yeah, there's the back, and of course there's a label on the neck. And finally, there is the crown. I drank probably a little bit too much, actually, when I was there, because I had to go to my German language class. So I was in a hazy rush to get there. This is a great little beer, by the way. So let's get the beer reviewed for the channel. I'll get this opened and poured. So beer in the glass, the head dissipated pretty much straight away. There's just remnants of an off-white head. But the beer in a glass is a really nice, deep, hazy, orangey red, slightly amber colour. But yeah, very hazy from the hops. He did actually tell me what hops he used for this beer, and I think there was a German variant on one of the hops included in there as well, but I've completely forgotten. But it was a really impressive list of hops. So of course, let's get the beer sniffed. And you're definitely picking up that concoction of hops in there. A very, very hoppy beer. I'm getting some like candied sugar. Of course, you're picking up that grapefruit. Kind of reminds me like fruit pastels as well. But yeah, it is really nice and sweet, with an ever so slightly resinous and piney tone right in the background. That is as tropical as they come. And yeah, you're also picking up like a nice, ever so slightly caramel roasted malt. Really gorgeous smelling beer. So anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Right away, I am picking up like a malty, almost chocolatey sort of flavour. But then that turns into a bitterness, and then you get the fruity, hoppy flavours coming through. Nice, vibrant zestiness, but it's got like a really nice grapefruity body to it, where it's not too sickly sweet, but it's not too heavy. And this is clocking in at 8%. And if I'm being honest, it pretty much tastes like a double IPA. Now, the Manufaktor Pale Ale is, I think it's around 6%. And that to me is more of an IPA. And this is what I would consider a double IPA. It's rarely taken me back to earlier this year when I was at the Brewdog pub in Manchester and I tried the Stone Ruination 2. And that was an absolutely phenomenal beer. It mixed the like fruitiness and the zestiness and the hoppiness with a really nice solid malty backbone. And this is what this beer is reminding me of. And I think that is a great compliment to give a beer. I'm not saying that it's like a poor man's version of it or it's trying to be like that. It's just reminding me of it. And yeah, this is a really, really nice beer. Sometimes the bitterness of an IPA can be a little bit too much for me, and I'm not too sure what the IBUs are on this one, but it is bitter throughout, but not too much, and it works well with the other flavours. I just love that like tropical chocolatey sort of vibe in there as well. And as you can tell by the colour, it's got quite a body to it. It is relatively heavy on the mouthfeel, but not too much because you get that carbonation in there. Even though it's not terribly carbonated, the carbonation cuts through and it fizzles away nicely. And it leaves you with an almost like resininess in your mouth after you've finished, like a little bit sticky, but not too much, not too syrupy. And yeah, if you like your double IPAs that have got a real nice robust body to it, then this is a really, really good attempt at the style. Like I was saying, it's more of a double IPA, so if you like your double IPAs, definitely give this one a taste. I know there's been a hell of a lot of people making a big buzz about Cloudwater's double IPA. Unfortunately, by the time I get back to England, I think it'll be hard to pick up a bottle of that. But I've got to say, this beer it's doing its job, and it's not making me too homesick. This is an absolutely terrific little beer, and it's probably my favourite of the Spital Manufaktor range. And it's great to see that a brewery like Spital, which is, you know, nearly as traditional as they come, that they're allowing, you know, beers like this to be produced. And from what I've heard, the Manufaktor stuff has, rightfully so, been really, really quite popular. It seemed like everyone at the tasting event was really enjoying this one. It seemed a little bit more on the malty and chocolatey side when I was at the event. I mean, of course, this is going on a week now, so it's not exactly fresh in my memory. But the tropical notes that I'm picking up now, they're so much more evident than they were when I first tried it. And this beer has been in the fridge for literally a week, and it's still a very flavoursome beer. It's a really, really exceptional little beer. It's one of those beers where every time you take a sip of it, you're potentially going to pick up something new. And people with a more seasoned palate than myself should definitely try this one if you can, because it's a really nice beer. I really enjoyed it on the night, and I'm enjoying it even more doing this review. If you like your hoppy, slightly malty, slightly chocolatey, heavy, not too heavy, but like full-bodied beers and your double IPAs, then if you ever get the chance, definitely try this one. Anton has done a fantastic job with all the beers that I've tried. You can actually feel the 8% in this, but you're not really picking it up too much on the flavour. So it's not burning the back of your throat, it's warming you up. And this is a great beer that could be fantastic in summer, but it can even be really good if you want something hoppy but warming on a winter's evening like tonight. We've just had steak and potato gratin. This would have gone absolutely perfectly with a nice juicy steak. And yeah, it's a very versatile beer, very robust beer, and yeah, just screams of high quality, and I will definitely be picking up more of these in the future. It could even become one of my go-to IPAs. So in terms of a rating, I think I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's just an exceptional little beer, and I'm sure once people have got to drink this a little bit more, it can become an even better beer once there's been opinions thrown around from people who've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching this beer review. If you want to find out more about the beer and the Spital brewery, then links will be down below. If I do actually record a video of the brewery visit, then you will have either already seen it, but if not, link is in the description box down below, as well as any Spital beer reviews that I've done up to this point. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beer. I'm going to take my time, but actually we're going to be watching The Apprentice a little bit later on. And yeah, fantastic beer. And yeah, thank you for watching me with like 2 minutes worth of actual information and like 9 minutes of me just talking absolute bollocks. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you in the next beer review. Cheers.